Hello and welcome. I am Kate Ellis, a clinical counseling hypnotherapist in practice for over 24 years. This is the audio recording of Worrier to Warrior, Conquering Anxiety and Panic Attacks, Metanoia. My practice specializes in the correction, not management, but the correction of anxiety and panic attacks and other anxiety disorders. I'm also the vice president of the Arizona Society for Professional Hypnosis, both for 2013 and 2014. It is the largest hypnosis and hypnotherapy membership organization in the country. This presentation seeks metanoia. What is metanoia? Metanoia is a noun, and it is the journey of changing one's mind, heart, self, or way of life. The etymology of this is meta is beyond or after, and noia means perception or understanding or mind. You will discover that I am a semantics queen, and you will understand with a deeper, keener insight why it is imperative you state what you mean and mean what you say. A very important part of you is listening and absorbing every word that you say and think, and is creating and designing the quality of your life and contentedness. We shall shift gears now. Currently, the medical and mental health communities treat anxiety, panic attacks with medication. And unfortunately, often you will receive this from your PC or primary care health professional, not a psychotherapist. Often you will not even receive a referral to a therapist, but merely management of the symptoms through medication. I'm working on this with the educational initiative on the correction of anxiety and panic attacks, which is geared towards these communities, the mental and medical health communities. I've learned that most are actually unaware there are specialists who can correct it. The medical and mental health communities have become more and more specialized. If you have a heart issue, you will be referred to a cardiologist. If you have a foot problem, a podiatrist. There are also specialties in the mental health realms. Not every therapist can deal with every issue. What are anxiety panic attacks? Well, some of the symptoms are racing thoughts, racing heart, sweating of hands, feet, overly sensitive to sound, dry mouth, upset stomach, rubbery legs, vomiting, diarrhea, feeling like you're having a heart attack, feeling as though you're dying, feeling like you're going to pass out, feeling as though you're going to lose control and act inappropriate, embarrassing yourself. Migraine headaches, chronic pain, even though there is no injury, feeling like you want to run away, feeling like you need to hide. Did you know that anxiety disorders tend to run in families? They are expressed in a variety of ways. Some family members may have a panic disorder, or some call it a nervous disorder. Many people self-medicate through alcohol, street or prescription drugs, body dysmorphia, anorexia, bulimia, weight issues, emotional eating. Other family members may have phobias such as a paralyzing aversion to heights, enclosed spaces, crowds, animals, afraid to be alone. What is the root core issue of an anxiety and panic attack? Feeling safe and in control in and of your life. There is this interesting phenomena that occurs with the majority of people who experience an anxiety or panic attack. About 2 to 2.5 years ago, there was a trauma such as losing a loved one, a job, an important relationship. Then one day, a couple of years later, you are in the grocery store reaching for a box of cereal and bam, you are struck with a panic attack. From here on out, I will primarily refer to anxiety and panic attacks as A and P. A and P is not associated with any socioeconomic level, intelligence, age, race, creed, or religion. It can visit any man, woman, or child. The psyche has an amazing predictability of processing emotional issues. All of the mechanisms are not fully understood. However, it is consistent with the majority of my clients. Did you know that 117 million Americans deal or suffer with an anxiety or panic disorder? Some are situational, such as giving a presentation at work or in front of a class. It is the number one anxiety disorder. There are basically three categories of anxiety panic disorder. Then there are those who experience a panic attack after a time of undue stress, move through it, and live their lives. Most people will have one panic attack in their lives. Then is another category where you have experienced an anxiety panic attack and then again and again. Then you begin to fear the fear of having another one, and your world begins to become smaller and smaller, beginning to associate a panic attack with exterior situations or probabilities. You go to a restaurant and have cream soup, say. You have a panic attack. Now, all of a sudden, you can't eat cream soup or go to a restaurant, not wanting to experience the horrific symptoms you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, only a child molester, the worst of the worst. You take an aspirin because you have a headache, you have a panic attack. Now you associate medicine with the attack, and on and on. And eventually, your world becomes smaller and smaller, and now you exist in the land of agoraphobia. A&P is actually your survival mechanism, 200,000 years in the making. It protects us in the deepest portions of our brains, our instincts to preserve our life. We have learned through the eons that if we take that one step off a precipice, off of the mountaintop, and it's 100-foot drop, you're going to die. If a tiger comes charging at you and you do not run or fight, you are going to die. It is called the fight or flight response. As humans have evolved and moved from hunter-gatherers and into the industrial age and now the 21st century, this survival instinct does not always work very well when threatened, say, by a boss demanding a project better be on time or else, or you're a student and you need to get that paper in or your grades will suffer, pushing your timeline of graduation further into the future. And when we are young, our perception of time is different. Such as when we are kids, the thought of Christmas being 8 months into the future is an agonizingly long time, or the thought of 4 years to graduation to a 20-year-old is an eternity, but doable. We become better at understanding time spatially. Anxiety and panic is actually what I like to call a kink in the hose. Ever water a garden? As you're going along, you happen to move in a certain way and the flow of the water is cut off. You look back to see what the problem is and you see the hose has kinked. Then you go through these motions of whipping your arm up and down with the hose till finally you have to walk back to the kink and untwist it. Now the water flows effortlessly. A&P is not a mental disorder in the sense you are hopelessly ill, like having diabetes or a heart condition in which requires constant monitoring. It is in actuality a thinking disorder. Imagine a hyphen between dis and order, a disorder in the thought process. How? A&P is corrected by cognitive behavioral techniques, training, and awareness of your thought process, and hypnotherapy, which corrects it at the subconscious level where your habituation, your patterns, and behavior patterns are stored. Okay, let's talk about time for a moment. Show me 10 minutes ago. And I don't mean a picture smartass. I mean, show me 10 minutes ago. Okay. All right. Then show me 10 minutes from now. You can't. Then what do you have left? You got it, the present, the here and now. This is all we ever have, the here and now. But this is a good thing, because your point of power is in the present, always. If I look at 10 minutes ago, I'm dissociating, or if you will, time traveling to the past. If I'm looking into 10 minutes from now, again I am dissociating, or time traveling to the future. The only power you have to do anything is in the now, the present. I can't take a swig of water in the past. It is a memory. Or the potential to take a swig of water 10 minutes from now is a probability. The only power that I have exists is here, now. Why do I say time traveling? Well, this is because the subconscious mind does not know the difference between a memory or an anticipation. We will get back to that. Let's do an experiment. I want you to say out loud, I have a problem. Now, notice how you feel, any tension in your body. What are your energy levels? Now, say out loud, I have a challenge. Again, notice how you feel, become aware of any tension in your body, and notice your energy levels. Now, most people report that when they say, I have a problem, they feel tension in their neck or shoulders, belly or back. They report a sense of being overwhelmed, even the sensation of weight upon them, and their attitude shifts to a sense of powerlessness or I can't do it type of attitude. However, when people say, I have a challenge, most people report that they feel a sense of lightness and energy begins to build and an I can do it attitude arises. After all, we have all overcome challenges, but problems, on the other hand, problems are hard. Wow, a simple word had such a profound effect upon your body and mind. A word. I have what I call the 5 unholy words one ought to consider avoiding and replacing. Mean what you say what you mean. You see, you are programming and directing your subconscious mind with every word you think, state as well as your body language. It is an obedient servant, your subconscious. Okay, the 5 words. Hope, wish, can't, should, and try. Pay attention to the last 2 words, try and should. The word try is a brilliant word for anyone under the age of 10. Why? Well, because when we're under the age of 10, we tend to be little perfectionists. We are coloring a picture and go outside the line, or we're practicing our letters and we make a mistake. And some children become very upset and then angry. When we are young, we seek approval, validation, and acceptance from our parents and our teachers. Then at some point, a teacher or a parent will come up to us and say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. This gives us permission to fail. We need to fail before we become successful. My grandmother used to say it takes 100 times drawing a rose before we get it right. So failure is important as we develop and mature. However, after the age of 10, we do not want to give ourselves permission to fail. We want to give ourselves permission to succeed. So instead of saying, I will try, you change it to, I will do my best. If you think about it, aren't we doing our best with what we know at any given moment? Most people do not wake up in the morning and decide that they're going to be a miserable failure. Well, most of us. There are a few out there. When you habitually state to yourself, I'll try, you're giving yourself a 50-50 chance of success. Hey, I like those odds with the lottery, with the Powerball, but not in life. In the Powerball, the odds are something like 176 million to 1. I like 50-50, but again, not in life. Your subconscious knows exactly what that word means. Many of us have had the experience of, say, asking a teacher, how do I spell the word discipline? And you get the response, go look it up in the dictionary. Yeah, but teacher, I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, you'll figure it out. So you go to the dictionary and begin drumming through the pages, and eventually you come to the word discipline. Discipline? And then you read the meaning of the word, discipline. And now it's locked in your subconscious mind. So if you misuse words and language which programs and directs your subconscious, you may find yourself achieving the same results even though you are working very hard for changes in whatever a situation, state of mind, feelings. So change the odds. State, I will do my best. The word should is full of slippery slopes. For many, it provokes our guilt center, drawing up feelings of inadequacy. But you know, guilt is a very beneficial emotion. It provides an opportunity. Guilt tells us through our feelings that we have pushed the boundaries of what we believe at the core of our being, what is right and wrong. We are taught our foundational beliefs when we are young by parents, culture, religion. You are a body, mind, and spirit, or electrical feedback system, whatever your preference. Opportunity, huh? Benefit, huh? How so? Well, say you are a Christian, specifically a Catholic, and you were taught that to eat meat on Friday is a sin. Then as you grow and explore your religion, you discover this isn't actually the Word of God. It's a tenet by a pope back in the 15th century or so. Then you discover, as you are researching, about a possible conspiracy of the pope making a pact with the fishermen. And then you explore a little further and learn it was actually a political thing when King Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn, but was married to Catherine, and the church would not annul the marriage. And being fish was so important in the Christian religion, not just Fridays, but other fasting days. So Henry broke off from the Roman Catholic Church, declared himself the head of the Church of England, and divorced Catherine so he could marry Anne. Well, that puts a new spin on it. All those years you felt guilty, you forgot it was Friday, jeopardizing your very soul, and had that juicy hamburger. Now, this gives you the opportunity to continue to feel guilty about eating meat on Friday, become more mindful of the meaning and meditations of your faith, or expand your understanding and make a new decision. The word should is an evil word, especially if you do not follow through. Should is the gateway to procrastination and leads to the threshold of depression. I say never should on yourself. It gets messy. When you use the word should, more often than not, you are acknowledging that something needs to be done or attended to, such as you observe the garbage needs to be taken out, perhaps while watching TV or passing by, and say to yourself, I should take out the garbage. Then perhaps make an appointment with yourself. I will take out the garbage at the next commercial or on my way out the door in the morning. Then you get home and see that you forgot to take out the garbage, and then those choice words we have for ourselves begin spewing. You know those words we say and call ourselves when we are angry or disappointed or feel betrayed by ourselves. Those words that if any other human being said to us would end up with a bloody nose, or if someone we cared about said to us would deeply hurt. You know, we have a relationship with ourselves just like we do with other people. I'll get back to that. In order to procrastination, in order to stop procrastination, that is, we have to stop shoulding on ourselves and follow through. So when you get home and see that the garbage is still there, put down your things, no thought, no judgments, no calling yourself names, simply tie up the garbage and take it out. Tell me, when was the last time somebody cajoling or yelling or calling you nasty names motivated you? Remember, you first need to change your perception, then your thinking automatically follows. Let's talk about the subconscious and conscious minds for a moment. The conscious mind, or the ego, is that portion of mind that deals with the outside world and your reactions and responses to it. The subconscious mind is that portion of the mind that allows you to smoothly operate in the world. It holds all of your habituations, memories, patterns, such as when you get into your car to drive. I bet you a nickel, and that's the highest I wager, that when you get into your car, you do not need to remember how to drive the car. You simply stick the key in the ignition and go. That is how your subconscious allows you to smoothly operate in the world. We do not have to think about how to do it. We've done it many times by rote and go about our lives. We have these neuronal pathways in our brains, a fancy name for habit pattern, which allows us to do everyday things without thinking the entire process through, such as brushing your teeth. Easily you grab the tube of toothpaste in one hand and the toothbrush in the dominant hand and accomplish your goal. Many of us have decided at some point or another to make changes in our lives and came to a point where it was truly difficult or impossible and gave up. Many people have worked with affirmations, and after a while they didn't work and gave up. Did you know it takes 88 to 1,000 times repeating an affirmation before it even begins to manifest in your life? That is, if you have the language correct. Intention does not always cut it. Why is that? Well, here's the rub. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind speaks two different languages. The conscious mind speaks in words and language. The subconscious speaks in pictures and symbols, with a sprinkle of emotion. If I say to you, imagine a beautiful clear water lake on a warm sunny day, with a blue, blue sky with puffy white clouds moving into the distance, you may think, sounds like a nice place. That is what your conscious mind heard. What your subconscious mind heard was your thoughts are clear and articulately spoken. Any issues with speaking or recalling will float far into the distance. Quite a difference, huh? You might even have become aware that thinking about the scene described had a physiological effect where you felt a bit more relaxed. The words you use and think physically affects you. Again, you are a mind, body, spirit, or electrical feedback system, your preference. Your thoughts create feelings. If you continue to think on a subject, the thoughts and feelings combined create the motion of emotions. Often when you feel tension, it is because what is being said or thought is incongruent with the truth, your personal truth, and so the body will alert you by feeling tension. So you can change what you are saying to reflect your truth. What you say and think or how you hold your body is giving directive to your subconscious always. And if it is not in alignment with what you want, your body will reflect this. Imagine right now I'm holding my right hand open, my palm facing you, fingers pointed up, and my left hand is closed with fingers curled loosely like the O sign in sign language, representing the conscious and the subconscious mind. If my right open hand is your conscious mind and my left closed hand is your subconscious mind, right now your conscious mind is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and paying attention to me. You are awake in the beta state of mind activity. And your subconscious is somewhat shut down, but not all the way, as it were, unless I ask you for a memory, and the mind turns briefly inward, acquires the information, and then focuses back to the environment. We do this smoothly every day. Now, imagine I just switched hand positions, and my left hand is open, and my right hand is loosely closed into an O. If my left hand is your subconscious mind, as you drift into the sleep state, it is going through first a processing stage where, like when you are removing a document on your computer, you hit the delete button and off it goes, such as you are listening to this presentation, you are aware of your surroundings but uninterested because your focus is on my voice. There may be sounds of traffic or people nearby. This is erroneous information, unimportant. You do not need to retain this information, so the brain clears itself of this clutter. It is also placing new information into what I call temporary files, such as you learned a new route to school or work, you learned a new word or math equation, a person's name. We have this filing system in our brain where we can easily access information, say on math equations, sadness, fear, great places to eat, within a folder. Then the subconscious mind, then moves to a deeper state we call dream. This is the portion of the brain and mind that is coming up with creative solutions to issues and challenges in our lives, both emotionally and situationally. And then, now this is the important for students, we enter a deeper realm, the delta theta state, where our permanent files are located. If you get the proper amount of sleep, the temporary files moves to the permanent file, and when you come across the new person, you instantly recall their name or solve the math equation, etc. In hypnosis, if you will now imagine my fingers now folded equally in a horizontal position pointing towards each other, I'm speaking to both the conscious and the subconscious minds at the same time. What is hypnosis? Simply put, it is a shift of perception. The word hypno comes from the Greek. I think it happened this way. Some dude was hypnotizing another dude, and some dude passed by and said, "That dude looks like he's asleep." Actually, hypnosis is quite unlike sleep. It is unlike meditation, if any of you ever meditated. In hypnosis, your body is very relaxed and the mind highly alert. In our professional circles, we call it body asleep, mind alert. The brain cycles about 9 to 11 cycles per second in the beta level of mind activity in hypnosis. The brain is actually cycling in the 15 to 19 cycles per second. If you are in an ultra-depth hypnosis, your brain is cycling 35 and better. This is where a hypnotist can take the eraser part of a pencil, tell you that it is a lit cigarette and touch your skin, and you will develop a blister. You will physiologically react as though it is actually real. Or if I take a knitting needle and drive it through your hand and I suggest you will feel no sensation whatsoever. You will not, and when I remove the needle, you will not produce a scar, nor bleed. But that's another subject for the stage hypnotist. Did you know that how the Mayo Clinic got started? The Mayo brothers in the earlier part of the 20th century were not happy that the operation might have been a success, but the patient died due to anesthesia. They hired people highly skilled in hypnoanesthesia where the patients were induced, operated upon, and lived to tell the tale. We are constantly moving from varying levels of mind activity, from beta to alpha. Then when sleeping, yet another level of mind activity into the delta and theta areas. There are three basic levels of hypnosis: light, medium, and deep, or the somnambulistic state, which everybody thinks hypnosis is. That you are induced into a trance in which you recall nothing except being told sleep, and then you hear wake up. Actually, there is this what's called the hypnotic rhythm in which you move through levels of mind activity, the light, medium, and deep states, guided by myself as well as a higher wisdom that resides within your mind. The light state of hypnosis is like when you are studying. You are focused on one thing. You are aware of your environment but choose to tune out distractions. Have you ever had the experience of studying or watching a TV program you were really into, then someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, I've been calling you. Didn't you hear me?" No. Or have you had the experience of getting into your car and then find yourself moving into the parking space, not recalling the drive? You think, "Oh crap, how did I get here? Did I kill anyone? Did I stop at the traffic lights?" You did. You have taken that route so many times that you went on autopilot, where your mind could wander, daydream, prepare for whatever. If indeed you needed to take evasive actions, you would quite easily move back to the beta state and proceed. This is a light state of hypnosis. A medium state is akin to if you ever had the experience of waking in the morning, and perhaps you have no obligations that day. You are still dreaming a little, and you are aware of perhaps people in the house moving about or the birds chirping outside, and you are so relaxed you don't know where the bed ends and you begin. That is a medium state of hypnosis. The deep or somnambulistic state is when you feel like you have fallen asleep, yet you are still responding to the suggestions as well as the suggestions to open your eyes. You experience this hypnotic rhythm drifting and bobbing through states of consciousness and unconsciousness. And each time you are hypnotized, it is a little different. Who are good candidates for hypnosis? The answer may surprise you. The best candidates are above average intelligence. There are basically four types of people that hypnosis would not be a good methodology. Not impossible, but challenged, let us say, who are not good candidates. The first person is one with an IQ of 70 or under. We are not exactly sure why that is, but I believe it has something to do with the ability to follow instructions. The smarter you are, the easier it is. The second would be someone diagnosed with a psychosis. Not that they cannot. I will not without a doctor in attendance. The third is if you believe I'm going to hijack your mind and make you do something you don't want to do, or you believe you are giving up control, or that you will say something you would not ordinarily reveal. If this were the case, I would have a lovely orientation with you, invite you to become comfy, do an induction, then suggest you turn over all of your assets to me, and then awaken you, and then call you from that island I own for our second session. Hypnosis works directly with your desire, not belief per se in hypnosis. Your mind as well has this protective mechanism. So if I say something that is perhaps against your philosophy, it would slough right off, or you may even wake up. See, you are in control at all times. I am a glorified guide. I know and understand the terrain and know how to negotiate it, but you are the one that allows me to guide you. The last is if uh, there's a poor rapport with a client, would you close your eyes in front of somebody you do not trust? As a hypnotherapist, I am guiding you through natural levels of mind and brain activity for you to achieve optimal results by shifting perception at the level of consciousness where it is stored. Like I mentioned earlier, where it takes 88 to 1,000 times stating an affirmation before it begins to manifest in your life. A single hypnosis session is akin to that. How effective is hypnosis? Well, according to the results of comparative study by the American Health Magazine, psychoanalysis, there is a 38% recovery after 600 sessions. Behavior therapy, 72% recovery after 22 sessions. Hypnotherapy, 93% recovery after 6 sessions. With the combination of cognitive behavioral training and hypnotherapy, as I have historically found, both together affects correction of anxiety and panic attacks. The root or core issue of A&P is that one does not realize it is your thinking about the future and the fear messages you are giving your subconscious creating the fight or flight response, and you do not feel safe or in control in or of your life. The present is always your point of power. You can choose to empower or disempower yourself. Sometimes thoughts are so fast we do not catch them when we think about, say, the future. However, remember, your body is also a feedback system. So if you are feeling tense or anxious or panicky, you are more often than not projecting your fears of a future, whether it's 5 minutes from now or tomorrow. How you are going to react, respond. What will I do if such and such happens? With the idea it will be stressful, your power is limited or controlled, and bang, you set into motion the fight or flight response. You have power, you have control in the present moment. This is what you will do to shut down the adrenaline coursing through your body, producing the symptoms of racing heart, dizziness, stomach distress, tingling or numbness of your hands and feet, or wobbliness. You will gain control of the autonomic nervous system that is located in the subconscious, which controls your breathing, heart rate, body temperature, etc. To stop the anxious, racing thoughts first, do your best to stop thinking. Realize you are safe. Nothing is truly threatening you except your thoughts. The reset button technique. Mindfully become aware of any tension in your jaw, shoulders and stomach, or lower back, and release it. Move your jaw from side to side. Raise your shoulders towards your ears and let them drop. Let your belly relax. Then inhale through the nose. Pause for a moment or two. Then release through the mouth twice as slowly as your inhalation, and repeat this 3 to 5 times. When we are infants, about 3 or 4 months old, our parents desperately wanting a bit more sleep begin to teach us, or rather allow the self-calming mechanism to kick in. Our parents stop picking us up immediately after we begin to cry, after being laid down for the night, and allow us to cry. After a few nights, deep instincts kick in called the sigh. If you watch a baby as it cries, you will notice that it will take a deep breath and soon after, about 30 seconds, will fall asleep. We do this automatically but do not realize it. So you are running late and stuck in traffic. Time is ticking away and you are expected. You pick up your cell phone and it's dead. You have no way of letting them know you are en route. You become angry with the traffic. Everybody becomes an idiot who can't drive. Finally, you are 15 minutes or very late. A thought enters your mind, I will deal with it when I get there. Then your instinct response kicks in. You take a deep breath and sigh. Your anger begins to dissipate. You may fool around with the radio, people watch the guy in the BMW picking his nose up to his elbow as though he is invisible. You have switched your thoughts to acceptance and calm down. Then sip on tepid or room temperature water. It absorbs more quickly warm water into your system to leach out the adrenaline out of your system. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Have a mint, specifically spearmint, such as an Altoids or mint tea. This calms the stomach as well as has an effect on the nervous system, a calming effect. Imagine yourself surrounded in a velvety blue haze or violet light. Light has a frequency that affects the human body, so even thinking about it will affect you. It is connected to a deep archetypical mind we are all connected to if you're familiar with Jung. Now, change your location, take a walk, get out of your head into your surroundings, into the outer environment. In summary, you are the master of your mind and the ruler of your body. Once you recognize this, you master your world, your life. Remember, we have a relationship with ourselves just like we do with other people. Be patient, kind, and loving. Tell yourself what you want, not what you don't want. People often make this error. You need to strengthen the bond of trust of yourself with yourself. Trust your life. What do I mean that we have a relationship with ourselves as we do others? Say a friend you haven't seen in a while calls and says, hey, let's get together at our favorite restaurant for a happy hour. You are like, cool, be there Friday at 5 p.m. Your friend agrees and you look forward to Friday. So you get to the restaurant and you find your friend is a no-show, no-call. You begin to worry, wonder where they are, can't get a hold of them. Then later on, you get in contact with each other, and the friend explains, oh, I am so sorry. I was called into a meeting and totally forgot about our date. Look, let me make it up to you. Let's meet next Friday, and I'm buying the drinks. You agree, feeling a bit relieved they are okay, and you are looking forward to Friday. You arrive, wait, and again your friend is no call, no show. Now you are getting a bit miffed, debating if you should call, thinking, they're an adult. Then later on you connect and your friend says, oh my God, I am so sorry. The babysitter called and couldn't pick up my kid from daycare and I just totally forgot. Please forgive me. Look, let me make it up to you. Let's meet next Friday and not only am I going to buy the drinks, I am getting dinner. Order the lobster. Uh-huh, you are thinking? Excuse is reasonable. So you agree. Now the week is going by. You are wondering, is something else going to come up? Is my friend a flake? Should I call and remind? You now begin to doubt your friend is going to show up. What has happened is the bonds of trust have now been broken. It will now take your friend nearly a year of consistently following through on their word before the damage is psychically repaired. When you do not follow through, find yourself shooting on yourself, you break the bonds of self-trust, just like the example given. And it will take you a while before you begin to trust you again. So when you become aware you are shooting, take that as a red flag and decide if indeed it is important, and if so, follow through. In a short period of time, you will trust yourself and your decisions, no second guessing, doubting yourself, and hold yourself in high esteem. If you choose to view everything as an opportunity, a dynamic shift will occur in your life and how you respond to delays, detours, or what appears as a block in your life or desires. Step back and ask yourself, what opportunity is this situation or circumstance providing me? Be the master of your mind, not mastered by it. Back to the beginning. Why metanoia? This is still the perfect word. The word describes there is a spiritual transformation that occurs, a spiritual and psychological uh, transformation that occurs. Look it up. One discovers that they are the creator in their life. You can create or uncreate. You can empower or disempower yourself. When there is an understanding that one is neither cursed, being punished by a god, but in fact anxiety, panic, disorder is a disorder in thinking. You can never go back to expressing anxiety in the same way ever again. In closing, I have discovered that Lao Tzu and I share a fundamental knowledge. And that is, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. I am hosting on a monthly basis anxiety panic attack correction workshops. It's 3-session workshops scheduled over the course of 3 weeks, most on the weekends, which will be 2 hours approximately in length. If you would like to sign up for the Anxiety Panic Attack Correction Workshop, contact me off of my website, www.thehealingquest.com. If you go to the Metanoia tab and scroll down, you will see a contact form. Fill that out. I will get it and then contact you. Please make sure you include your correct return email address as well as phone number. Also, there are other options. If you prefer not to be part of a small group workshop, I also provide in-office sessions, again, the same 3 sessions, and the same amount of length of time. And my office is located in Scottsdale, Arizona, specifically in Old Town, 6910 East 5th Avenue, by appointment only. And then I have another option for people who have challenges with getting out of the house or babysitting. It are Skype sessions. They're live streaming sessions. And it's the same as being in person. It's actually called electronic hypnosis, created by my distinguished colleague Larry Garrett of the uh, Garrett Hypnosis and Wellness Center in Chicago, Illinois. If you would like to contact me by phone, which is my preference, please call me at 480-695-1936. Again, the website is thehealingquest.com. Thank you very much.